We're just going to cover quickly how to use the example module and start working on things. The feature or the benefit to this module is it allows you to write your own subcontexts, add them to the form that Behat uses to do test or create test, and collect all your tests inside of a folder. Now, what's really important here is that you have your custom steps in place as needed. Depending on what your team is doing, you might not need to add them to the form, but I'll show how to do this anyways. So once you download this module and do drush enable, it will then go through Composer Manager to start building out the needed Composer libraries. There's only a couple of things going on in this module. A form alter to alter the UI. And then the most important thing is that it has this file here, which is your Behat Inc. file. And this is the file that the the Drupal extension module looks for to then pull in your subcontext custom steps. So in this case, I added a couple. I press the X path and I follow the X path. I'll explain those shortly, but basically they didn't exist in a way that worked for us or that was something we needed, for example, and so you would have to go and write them. Once you write them here, you can use them in your test. In this case, all your tests will live in the Behat features folder. Here's an example of a test using those particular steps. I follow the path, the X path. Now, any test inside your Behat features folder will be seen and you can run. It has to be in that folder, it can't be in a subfolder right now. And then it has to have you can use all our existing steps, of course, but if you need any custom ones, you would put them here. Finally, if you want those steps to show up in the graphical interface you have in the form, you would then start building your form alter to make those steps show up in the form. So in this case, I add my steps to the particular grouping category and I start making the form fields needed to make those steps work. I explain up here what all the little nuances are of the form. There's a number of elements to the form to make it really work right with the dynamic JavaScript that's trying to look for these things. It's hard to explain all over audio and video, I think. Ideally, the code and the notes that come with the code will help you read it. There's the and I title, which shows up. There's a select list with the values that shows up. And it's the grouping of these elements with the group class that helps the final add button trigger the JavaScript to grab the right text and the right values and to create the WYSIWYG, the graphical scenario builder. And we'll look at that in a moment. So now if we go to the scenario builder, Composer Manager should be done. It does take a while. If we go to the WYSIWYG builder, the scenario builder, we see that the form alter that this module created is inside of the questions area, questions, form fields and elements, and that's the group. There's a handful of them that you'll discover, and we'll make clear to put them in. This group then helped this one that was made custom to show up with this one which already existed. And now you have your particular custom step. Now if we move that over for a moment, move that over, we can see that you have your and I, and then you have your select options, and then you have your next set of select options, which doesn't have a title because we weren't adding any text other than what's in the select value. And then finally the field that they're filling in, and then the button. So it's really that simple. Though, like anything, it might take a while to get used to the layout. Another thing to keep in mind is that all these form elements come from the Behat editor or file. And right now it's in this oddly named Behat shared views, and you can see the form here and start grabbing ideas from there and how the other form elements were built. So now if I was to put a and I press, we'll just use CSS path for a moment. We'll just say, you know, div test1 p, for example, and there's so many different ways to do it, but we'll just use that. And I press the element div test1. Since it's not a link, we can't follow or click it, so we press it. And that's it. Now your step will pass. And again, if you didn't add it to the UI, no big deal, because in your case, you might just be doing uploading your test. So let's cover that. So let's go back to the admin interface. And you'll notice here that all the tests have a module folder. And if we were to look for your test, Behat editor, we see that there's the example module folder, and all the tests in that folder will have their own lines here, so you can quickly search for your test. You'll see that over here you can't edit or delete it because you're managing it in your folder for your module. You can view it, of course, and run it. And when you go back to your code, you have a chance to add more tests to your Behat features folder. Let's grab that folder and then upload them. We'll have a Jenkins server set up so that when you upload new tests to your branch in your repo, it will then automatically push it to the site so that you'll see them within a moment or two, because we're just going to push those files up there for you. And then your features will show up that way. Though, you know, you're more than welcome to just use the UI and create a test here, save it, and then in a moment you'll get a link to the test so you can just download it, and that's fine as well. And then you would download it to your Behat features folder in your module, upload it via GitHub, and now it's yours, and it's in a place your team can share it. And then delete it from the other folder just so no one gets confused. There's other videos to go over tagging and command line use. I just wanted to introduce in this video how to put your tests inside of a custom module, write your own features, step definitions, and to add form elements to the form UI.